Hello guys, welcome to another video. So in this video we will be looking at Linux's OS or kernel. If you are following my series of the Linux tutorials, I have been telling you that Linux is not in OS but it is in kernel, and I further told you that I will explain why I am telling this so in this video I am going to explain that why Linux is a kernel but not an operating system, right? So for understanding this we will need to understand thoroughly about OS, which means operating system, and we will also need to understand that what is kernel, right? If you are following this series, I think that you must be having some knowledge about operating system, that what is operating system, but we will try to understand operating system from the point of view of a noob computer user, right? So you use many softwares on your computer, like you use MS Word, right? Or you use PowerPoint, or you may be using any other software, uh, like you use VLC media player for playing videos, or maybe any other software for a specific purpose, right? But you never ever think that what is going on behind these softwares, right? We don't want to understand that, because uh, that what happening behind the scenes is not useful for us. But for a time period, think that your computer gets automatically shut down, and you call the engineer who will repair your computer, and he told you that you will need to restart your operating system, right? You heard the term operating system for the first time, right? And you get in shock that I have used many software like MS Word, PowerPoint, VLC Media Player, my browser like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or any other software. But what do he mean by an operating system? Is it in another software, right? So you get confused, right? So be patient. OS is just like any other software, but it is a special one, right? It basically operating system is not made up for a specific purpose, but operating system is made for the entire working of the computer, right? So what do operating system mean is, uh, unlike mortals, a computer is not born with any life, right? So operating system basically gives your computer or a machine a life, right? Basically some kind of basic intelligence is required for the computer to work, right? So uh, what does operating system does is, it can be understood in two perspectives, right? One could be on the perspective for the programs or the software you use, another could be from the perspective of the user, right? So let's understand both, right? From the point of view of a program or software, or any software you may be using on your machine, so from the point of view of the software or a program, operating system is something which will help it to access the hardware of the computer, right? So any software or any program can't directly access the hardware of your machine, right? It can't directly access the hardware of the machine. For accessing the hardware, you need a special type of software called operating system, which will help the software or programs to access the hardware, right? So from the perspective of the software or programs, we can say that operating system is a software that provides access to the hardware, right? And from the perspective of user, let's try to understand that also in easier way. right? I want to use some software, right? But uh, wait a minute, let me try to explain you it in a very easy way so that you can understand it. So listen my words carefully, right? A computer provides yet another type of service, this time for you, the user. You will need to copy or delete a file, right? So you may be writing something on a word and you saved it on your desktop. You need to copy it in your pen drive, right? You need to delete it some files from your computer. You may be needing to create a folder in which you are keeping or storing some files. So all these types of features are not provided by any ordinary softwares like MS Word or PowerPoint, right? Or your web browser, right? So you need some special kind of software to do all this stuffs like copying files, deleting files, maintaining your files, or maintaining the settings in your computer, right? So you need some special kind of software for that. So from the user point of view, you can say that the software which is providing all these features for copying files, pasting file, deleting files, accessing the hardware, and making changes in the settings of the computer, it is an operating system, right? That software is called operating system, right? So also to access any other software on your computer, you may need to install any software, you may need to uninstall any software, right? So operating system basically creates a platform on your machine through which you can do all these tasks, right? Installing some software, deleting some software, or anything, right? So this is the operating system from the point of view of a user, and we have seen that operating system from the point of view of a program or software is, right, it provides access to the software or program to the hardware, right? By accessing hardware, why will a software need to have an access to the hardware, right? So if you are writing some file on a word, you may be you are using RAM, right? If you haven't saved those file, all the words you have typed on your screen are basically stored in your RAM, right? So your soft MS Word need to access the RAM. So who will provide it the access to the RAM? So you can say that operating system will provide MS Word or PowerPoint, anything you are using to type some stuff, access to the RAM. It may be when you will save some file, your software will need access to the hard drive, right? So more stuffs like this are performed with the help of operating system, right? So I hope you have understood what does the operating system means is, right? So let's move further and understand that what do I mean by kernel. Yes, so guys, before we start to understand kernel, I would like to add something more about the operating system, which is that when you boot up your computer, right, the first software which is loaded into your memory is the operating system, right? So operating system is the first software which is started whenever you boot up your computer, right? If you will not have any operating system, you will not have access to the whatever you have on your hardware, right? So operating system is the first software which is booted on your machine, right? So let's understand kernel. So as we have seen that OS may be understood on the basis of two perspectives. One may be from the perspective of a program or software, another may be from the perspective of user, right? So OS, which is operating system, has divided its labor into two groups, or you can say to two um, agencies, right? So OS has divided its labor. OS has divided its labor to two agencies. The one agency is called as kernel and another agency is known as shell, right? You may or may not be familiar with both these terms, but if you will watch this video till end, you will be familiar with these two terms very, very, very greatly, right? So let's try to understand what is kernel and what is shell, right? So as we have seen that OS, we have understood till now that OS divided its labor into two agencies. One is kernel and one is shell, right? So kernel and shell have some specific kind of work to do on an machine, right? So both of these are part of OS, right? So what is the main motive of this video? To make you understand that Linux is not an OS but it is in kernel, right? So you need to understand that kernel is part of an operating system, right? But kernel is not an OS, right? So there is some misconception between peoples. They refer kernel as an OS, but that's not the thing, right? OS has two agencies which are kernel and shell, and there are many more agencies which I have not listed here, but these are the two agencies which basically build up an operating system, right? So kernel is part of an operating system, but what do this kernel do, right? So in very easy language, I will make you understand that you can say that kernel interacts with machine, or you can say hardware. Kernel interacts with what? Machines hardware. Machines hardware, right? And shell interacts with user, right? So as you can see in the diagram here, this is hardware, this is kernel, and this is shell. These are the applications and these are the user, right? So there may be an application X which requires some resources on the hardware, right? So that software or that program X will contact kernel, and this kernel have access to the hardware, right? So this kernel will actually interact with hardware and provides the access to the hardware to the software X, right? So this is the work of kernel, right? And you may be eager to know that how do kernel do this, right? So there is a set of functions known as system calls, right? There is a set of functions called system calls, right? These are the programs that actually access the kernel, right? And through these systems call, the kernel accesses the hardware, right? So broadly we have seen that kernel interacts with hardware, and right. So what does shell do? As I have written here, shell interacts with user, right? So as a user you need to interact with your operating system to do many kinds of things, right? You may be eager to know that I want to go in some directory and want to know that what is inside this folder. You may be needing to perform some task or maybe anything else. So all these tasks which is basically you can say that given by a user, right, which user want to perform on the machine, is basically user interacts with shell and shell interacts with kernel to provide that access to the whatever stuff you want to do, right? So I will shortly write the definitions of both, so you can read and understand it more better way, right? Yes, so here are the definitions which we can look upon, so that we can understand that what kernel actually means in a better way, right? So I have quoted this definition from the book called Unix Concept and Application by Sumitaba Das. This is very good book in which the definitions and explanation is in very easy language to which anyone who will read can understand, right? So what does this says is the kernel is the core of the operating system, as we have seen in the diagram above, right? This is the core of the operating system, right? So kernel is the core of the operating system, right? A kernel is the core of the operating system, a collection of routine mostly written in C. The functions which are in the kernel files are written mostly in C. This means that that it is loaded in memory when system is booted and communicates directly with hardware. So now you must be wondering that I have said earlier, whenever we boot up the machine, operating system is the first software which actually is loaded in the memory. So but you should also think that I have said you kernel is part of an operating system. So the file under operating system which is loaded in the memory first is kernel, right? So ultimately you can say that operating system is loaded in the memory when you boot up your computer. So this is vice versa because kernel isn't part of operating system, right? So under the operating system, kernel is what which is actually booted, or you can say loaded in the memory whenever the machine is booted, right? And this kernel communicates directly with the hardware, right? So what else is written here? User programs, the application that need to access the hardware like hard disk, use the services of kernel which perform the job on user's behalf, right? As I have said that whenever you will have some application and it will need the access to your hardware, you can say like it need access to your hard disk, right? So it will need to use the services of a kernel, which is what its services are to provide the access to the hardware, to any software or program which you will use on your machine, right? So the program accesses the kernel through a set of function called system call. I have already said you this earlier, that how do the kernel actually provide access to the hardware, to any software. So kernel does this with the help of some functions which are known as system calls, right? So let's look upon what does shell has to offer us, right? So computers don't have any inherent capability of translating commands into action, right? So you must be familiar with the PowerShell on Windows, or you maybe have listened about terminal on Linux or any Mac OS or something else like that, right? So whenever you type some command on that terminal, right, so computer cannot directly inherent, or you can say that kind directly understand whatever you have written on the terminal and convert it into an action, right? So it requires some command interpreter, right? Just like you have an compiler for compiling your C program or C++ program, just like that you have a command interpreter whose job is to translate commands into an action. Basically it will translate your command into the language which is understood by the kernel, right? And then kernel will understand whatever command you have given, right? And that command basically when the kernel will understand, kernel will perform that action and it will access the hardware and provide you with the output you require, right? So basically shell is the interface between user and kernel, right? So ultimately whatever you need to perform on your machine, let me whatever you need to perform on your machine is dependent on the hardware, right? So having access to the hardware, you need to access the kernel, but you cannot access the kernel directly, right? So for contacting kernel you will need to use shell, right? So shell is what? Shell is the interface between user and kernel. One user cannot directly contact kernel, but if you want to contact kernel, you will need to use shell, right? Okay, so let me clear you one thing more, that what we will see that what is the difference between terminal and shell in the upcoming videos. I will also explain you that what is the difference between terminal and shell. But I want to, if you are using any Linux system currently, or you may be using it in the future, because you will need to install that to understand the further videos, but I will show you that where is the kernel and shell are in a Linux operating system. So I am currently using an Debian based distribution of Linux called Ubuntu. So I will just show you. So this is my terminal, right? This is my terminal, and whatever I will write here, and whenever I will press enter, the shell will convert that into some language which is understandable by the kernel, and kernel will give me the output, right? That's the basic thing, right? So the in Linux operating system, Linux systems, the kernel file is basically stored at this location, right? So for accessing this location, right, let's go to whatever I will be writing here, you will understand all these things later, but I'm just showing you that where this Linux file or kernel file is in the operating system, right? So we need to type, sorry, okay, so I need to go into boot, right? And yeah, so here you can see that there is one file called VM Linux, right? Basically this is the kernel of my operating system. Basically this is what Linux is, right? And if you want to see that what is the shell I am using, right? So for seeing basically there are many types of shell. There is bash, there is C shell, there is corn shell, there is Bourne shell. There are many shells which you can use. Currently which shell I am using can be seen by this command. You can type echo within space and dollar sign and a 0, right? If you will press enter, you will see that I am using bash. So this is my shell which I am using, right? Okay, so now let's move further and understand that we have till now we have understood that what is operating system, what is kernel, what is shell, right? But now let's try to understand that why Linux is an kernel but not an operating system, right? So this is the main part of this video. So yeah, let's finally understand that why Linux is kernel, right? So now we know that what is operating system, what is kernel, what is the difference between them, and what is shell, right? Right, so let's move on to the main motive, which is to make you understand that why Linux is kernel, right? So before the launch of Linux, right, there were many other operating systems, right? There was Unix, there was MS DOS, right? Right, so Unix was the main operating system which came very earlier, right? So if you I will want to make you see that when was it launched. Let's move to the web. So Unix was launched in 3rd of November 1971, right? And Linux was launched on 17th September 1991, right? And you can see here that the this is then Linux, right? So its OS family is Unix like. So Linux was based on Unix, right? So they are very similar, right? Basically Linux was developed over Unix, right? Basically they were very similar, right? Okay, so as we have seen that it was launched in 1971 and Linux was launched in 1991, right? There is a gap of almost around 20 years, right? So there were two people. One was Richard Stallman, I may be not pronouncing it correctly, and other one is Linus Torvalds, right? So these were the two persons who actually led it to this operating system which I am currently using, right? So Linus Torvalds basically is the father of Linux kernel, right? uh, Basically he wrote it this, the free Unix, or you can say that the Linux kernel, right? And Stallman was the person who runs Free Software Foundation. He runs Free Software Foundation called GNU. It is basically repeatedly acronym, right? So GNU means GNU's not Unix. G stand for GNU and N stand for not, U stand for Unix, right? So this is the foundation for free softwares which is run by Richard Stallman, right? So the thing is that Linux is a kernel, and kernel on its alone can't build up an whole operating system, right? You need other softwares also which all together build up the operating system, right? Along, so Linux is the basically you can say that kernel is the core, right? It is the core thing which is required for any operating system, right? But kernel on its alone can't build up the whole operating system. So along with the kernel you need many other softwares, right? Many other software and tools which all together will build up an operating system, right? So out of these many other tools, majority of tools are made by GNU, right? So sometimes the operating system, which is basically the combination of Linux kernel and other tools, are referred as GNU Linux, but this would not be correct to refer the operating system as GNU Linux, because I said many other software and majority of them are made by GNU, but others are not made by GNU, right? There are many other software which are not made by GNU which contribute to the build up of the operating system, right? So using this GNU tools and Linux kernel with some other software and tools also build up this operating system, right? So there is a license provided by the GNU organization called GNU General Public License, and through this license it is mandatory for developers and sellers to make the source code public, right? Through this license the source code is to be made public. So this is the actual license which has led to the creation of open source This is basically this is the license which has led it to the creation of open source development of an Linux kernel based operating systems, right? So as I have told you, there the combination of Linux kernel plus GNU tools plus other tools, these all together build up an operating system, right? So modifying these tools in some way with the usage of Linux kernel actually build up the different flavors of operating system, right? So there are many flavors, right? So I will list some popular ones. The some are Red Hat, some are Caldera, SUSE, Debian, and many others, right? So these are the flavors of the operating systems based upon the Linux kernel, right? So the operating system which we are using, I'm using Ubuntu, which is the distribution of Debian organization, right? So this operating system is the combination of Linux kernel with GNU tools and some other tools, right, which has all together built up my operating system, right? So I think now you are clear that Linux is not an operating system but it is an kernel. And in general speaking, or you can say loosely speaking, sometimes people refer the kernel as an OS, right? But it is not technically correct, but when we loosely speak something, this becomes the trend and which is what we are following, right? So this was all about this video. I hope that this video is informative for you, and this video have made you understand about the concepts that what is an operating system, what is in kernel, what is in shell, and why Linux is in kernel but not an operating system, right? So thanks guys. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you have any doubt, please write it down in the comment section. I will try to solve it as soon as possible, right? So thank you guys, see you in the next video. Happy coding, bye bye.